Hello vinyl community, my name is Richard. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you've been here before. Always appreciate a subscribe or a comment, and any questions or comments on the music I show. Well, today I thought I'd do a brief contest entry. This is a joint contest set up by Rachel the Music Mom and Lisa Tedesco. And it centers around the movie Reservoir Dogs by Quentin Tarantino. I will admit it's a movie I have not seen. Somehow some of his movies has escaped me over the years. Though not all. Inglourious Bastards sticks in my mind particularly his somewhat unique choice of music, using David Bowie music, for example, to match up with the 1940s scenes in Paris. But I have done a little bit of research online about the movie, and I think I have some things to offer. And some of you that have seen my channel before and with my videos you will have seen some of these albums before. I won't go into great depth of them, but I thought maybe this will also be a chance to make a plug for some of the music that I really have enjoyed that has come out this year. Happens to be from my home country, and I think is enjoying some success within the genre, at least around the world. So with that, I'll get into it. So first question is to relate some music, some vinyl to the movie itself. And doing some research, I found that some of the characters in this diamond heist gang, in order to be anonymous to each other, goes by different color names. So you have Mr. Blue, Mr. White, Mr. Pink, etc. Well, I thought I'd pull out some colored vinyl that also incidentally happened to line up with the music that I have, or some of the music that I've bought that has been released this year. I will start with this album by the Norwegian band Jordsjø. The album is called Pastoralia. Beautiful gatefold art, very colorful. Pastoralia is really sort of the theme here is relates to nature and people in northern Norway dancing around the campfire in northern Norwegian tropical nights. There actually can be such a thing, unimaginable as it may sound, but this is kind of a fantasy theme. Jordsjø tends to be very nature oriented in their inspiration. Folky, progressive, a little jazzy in this album. Some also talk about them as some of the Canterbury scene inspired. Themselves will also say they're inspired by Swedish progressive rock like Änglagård and Augusta. Now, the tie to the movie, probably not so much to the music or the theme of the music, but Mr. Blue. So this is on blue transparent vinyl. The album is on the Karisma label. That's Karisma with a K. Was just released here on May 7th. A great album. You can also find it on different streaming platforms. I use YouTube Music for my car, or kind of settings where I don't have access to record players or CD players. Probably the second track on this album, called Skumring I Kariswando, or Dusk in Kariswando, is my favorite. I highly recommend checking this album out. Then I'll skip over to an artist called Kaligonaut. This is his first album, dropped late February on the Norwegian Apollon label, which is kind of a sister label to the Karisma label. This is kind of a reviewed as somewhat of an all-around progressive rock album. The list of musicians here will also include some familiar names for those that are into more modern or recent progressive rock. So you have some involvement by several of the members of Wobbler here. Wobbler has had huge success with their latest album, Dwellers of the Deep. Been many regarded as one of the top 10 progressive rock albums ever. But this Kaligonaut album, Magnified as Giants, is really a very strong album. And the tie here with the movie, this one came on white vinyl. So I am a pre-order kind of a guy. So check that out if you're inclined to some progressive rock. Then maybe a little bit of a double count for tied to a movie. To the movie, this album is called Nordisk Krim, or Nordic Crime in English. It's by a band called Tusmørke, or Twilight in English. This is also on the Karisma label, Karisma with a K. The theme of this album is, or focuses around some bodies that were found in Danish bogs back in the 90s. For a little while there was some question about if this was a recent crime that needed to have a full police investigation or what was going on. But it turned out to be actually bodies that had been preserved over many years, thousands of years. Somewhat grotesque cover art here, which, not having seen their particular movie, Quentin Tarantino, certainly is not afraid of some hints of that. Tusmørke is often described as kind of a mix of progressive, psychedelic, and folky. A lot of flute usage, as I should have mentioned too with Jordsjø. They use a lot of flute. Sometimes you can maybe get a few Jethro Tull vibes from Tusmørke's use of flute, but it's not too much like Jethro Tull. It's just on occasion you get that vibe. Some of this music, if you're not into psychedelic type rock, perhaps could be a bit much for some. I think if there's one track that may be more appealing to a broader audience, it's on side C. This is a double album called, the last track there called Heksejakt, or Witch Hunt. So some crime going on here in the title, but there's one more tied to, and this one we can tie to Mr. Pink. So this is on pink translucent vinyl, transparent vinyl. Then for the laughing bit, I struggled with that. I have a lot of music that has some elements of laughter in it on vinyl. I came up short. I'm still building a vinyl collection. As you can see in the background, I do have a fair amount of CDs, and by far more CDs. These are not all of them, but far more CDs than LPs at the moment. But I do have one album that has laugh in the title, and this is Sid Barrett's Madcap Laughs. One of his two, who I believe, solo albums after he, I don't know if it's called exited or got kicked out of Pink Floyd. As probably many of you know, Sid Barrett was kind of one of the founding Pink Floyd members, and David Gilmour eventually replaced him. The album is produced largely by Roger Waters and David Gilmour. the name of the album, Madcap Laughs, is not in the tracks itself. There's no reference to laughing there. And I must admit, it's been a while since I had a chance to listen to the whole album, so I don't remember any laughing in there. But otherwise, often when I think of music and laughs, for whatever reason, one album that springs to mind that I only have on CD and in a folder that was many used back in the 90s, just to stick the CD insert and the CD into, for convenience. I was moving some thousands of miles at the time, so I unfortunately lost many of my covers over the years, but is Mike Oldfield's Amarok. He came out with an album, just one track on the CD, about an hour long. Towards the end of Amarok, there's a segment there where you hear a Margaret Thatcher laugh for a while. I always found that to be kind of peculiar, and it just kind of burnt into my mind. So that is my contest entry. Hopefully someone will have an excuse to check out some Norwegian progressive rock. If you're so inclined, I highly recommend those albums. Appreciate Rachel and Lisa setting up the contest, and look forward to seeing some more other contest entries as well. Take care, everyone. See you later.